Hey, everybody, this is Twisted Conversations with Carolyn. And today I just have a little rant. And some of you guys might think that I am complaining about absolutely nothing. But I think that what I'm complaining about is a big deal. And I'm going to tell you why. So, remember back in the day, if you wanted to talk to somebody, you had to actually call their house phone, right? You had to call their phone. And if they weren't at home, they weren't at home. And then answer machines came out. And then you could leave a message. And then some answer machines were so um they got advanced. And you could call the answer machine from a different location and check your messages. Then we got beepers, and you could call a beeper and put a number in, and a person could call you back. And then came cell phones. And I'm not going to say that cell phones are not a good thing, okay? um, Cell phones have allowed us to call somebody when they're on their way from home from work, or there are a lot of good things about cell phones, but there are a lot of bad things about cell phones. I have seen people go out, and when you're at dinner, I can't even show you because my phone is recording, but everybody is down looking at their phones. No one can actually look up and have a conversation. And my biggest fear is that if I ever go on a date, if the guy is constantly looking down at his phone, because I want you to look at me or look at the food, or let's talk about people, but let's have a conversation. But that's even when you go to a concert, and I'm guilty of doing this. You go to a concert and you pick up your phone and you're recording for other people to see, but you're missing the show. And it's not the same when you're looking at it through your phone as when you're up close. But that wasn't even what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about the new cars. Okay, so, and again, I'm going back and forth because I love the dashboard on my car because it looks like a spaceship, right? And I love it. And that's why I got it, because I like that feature. However, my car is in the shop. So I have a loaner, and they gave me 2026 Corsair with 17 miles on it. And by the time they get it back, it's going to have a bazillion. But I'm driving, and if you don't put on your blinker and you try to get over in a lane, now you're fighting with the steering wheel. Like literally, it's trying to keep you in the lane. So I am arm wrestling while I'm driving. Now I know you're thinking, well, Carolyn, just put the blinker on. There was nobody behind me, so I didn't need to put the blinker on. Okay. Then if you get too close to the line, then it shakes and it pushes you back, or it just shakes. I've been driving since I was 16. I'm good. Then I'm driving, and this thing pops up, and it's red, and it's on the dashboard, and it's yelling at me basically and telling me to put both hands on the steering wheel. I did have my hand on the steering wheel, but because that popped up, you know what I did, right? I slowed down and I drove slower, and I took my hands off the steering wheel because I wanted to take a picture. Because I wanted to show it to Ashley, because I was talking to her, and I wanted to show her that the car just told me to put both hands on the steering wheel. Yep, that's what I said. Um, so again, all those new things are probably great features for someone who wants them, but I don't need you to tell me to put my blinker on, or to how to stay in the lane, or to keep my hands on the wheel. My old car used to tell me, it would put up a coffee cup, and it would say um something like, pull over because you're tired. Like literally, it would tell me I was tired, but I wasn't tired. But it was telling me, so am I gonna pull over and take a nap? I mean, I'm just saying. Um, the other thing I don't like about the new cars, where are the CD players? Did somebody take a poll? Did we vote on no CD players? I have 1,000,001 CDs. I like to put a CD in and listen to it. And of course, somebody told me, do Apple Music. Okay, so here's the thing. I do Apple Music, right? But you have to pay a monthly fee to have Apple Music. So what you're telling me is I have the CD in the house that I already paid for. But if I want to listen to it in my car, I have to listen to it through Apple Music that I have to pay for each month. Do you see why I don't like it? I want to just be able to put a CD in and listen in my vehicle. Yeah. I mean, hell, at this point, give me a 8-track. I mean, I, but I want to be able to pick sometimes what I want to look at, what I want to listen to. You know what I'm saying? So I am also convinced that my navigation does not like me. In any car, it does not like me. I use a app called Spoke, and it's great for when you put in like different addresses and you want it to route you to where you need to go, and it'll tell you the best way to go. And I think it's great. But recently, it freezes on me. So just today, I was driving and I was in Inkster and I was leaving a location, and I did not realize that Spoke froze. So I'm still driving straight. And then I get to a street that looks like it's going to be a dead end. But Spoke is telling me to keep going. So I keep going. And then I see a sign that kind of lets you know it's a dead end, but then it had an arrow. So it said dead end and an arrow. So if the arrow is telling you, it means go that way. It means go that way. You can't go straight because it's a dead end, and you can't turn that way because you're going to go into a house or whatever was there. So you got to go that way, not that way, but that way. So that's what I did. And I was going slow because it was a dirt road and it had a lot of potholes. And then as I was driving ever so slowly, because it told me to go that way, and I saw cars coming this way, and I thought, wow, which street is this that I'm on? That these cars are right here and I'm so close. And why am I on this side? Why is this street made this way? That I'm going this way on this dirt road that is so narrow? It's because I was driving on the sidewalk. I didn't know that neighborhood. And I didn't know Spoke froze. And it was still telling me to do this. It told me to go forward. And then the sign that said dead end told me to go that way. It didn't just say dead end, and it didn't have an X, like don't go any further. It didn't say stop, back up. This is not an outlet. Sometimes it'll say no outlet. In my neighborhood right there, it tells you it's no outlet. No, it didn't have that. It said dead end, go that way. And that's what I did. And then I realized I was on the sidewalk, and I played it off like I was at the liquor store. I don't even think that store is open anymore. And if I really wasn't paying attention, it was a funeral home right across the way. They was probably looking out the window saying, we got a customer coming, because that's exactly what was happening, because this app told me to keep going and I didn't realize that it had froze. So, yeah, I ended up putting where my next place in navigation. And then I think Spoke got jealous. And then, because I had it in my ear, Spoke decided she was going to tell me how to get to where I had to go. And navigation, not only does she yell at me, like she tells me to get ready to turn. And then she says, turn now. I can't turn now. Does she not see the cars coming? But this bitch is always telling me to turn now. I cannot turn now. Don't tell me to turn now when I can't go. I cannot go. And then when they tell you, turn in 1,000 feet, what is 1,000 feet when you're driving? Now, when they say 350 feet, I mean, I've gotten used to that. That means that's about a block, or like really, you right there at it. Okay. But my navigation doesn't like me. It doesn't matter if it's in my car or rent a car. They just yeah, they don't like me at all. Now, I will say, with the phones, when you put in where you're going, so now for the most part I know where I'm going. I've lived, in the Metro Detroit area all my life, but there are certain areas that I don't know, right? And so while I'm going and I'm trying to serve people, right, I'm going into Southgate, Wyandotte, all these other areas. And so I will put it on my phone and it lets you know there's police ahead. What? Now, I drive the limit, so I, I don't need to know that there's police ahead, but that's a really nice feature to, kind of let somebody know that you might want to slow down because there are police ahead. I like that feature. That's a nice feature. I will give another thing to the cell phones and technology of today is that find my iPhone. So I can go in and I can locate my children that are grown adults. And Ashley is good for asking me, where am I? And I'll say something like, in my skin. And then she'll go to her phone and she'll be like, well, it looks like you're at blah, 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 because I share my location with them. And I do. I think that's great. Because nowadays you just don't know. But I am ever so thankful that we did not have this when I was growing up, because I can only imagine when I was in the 12th grade and I'm telling my parents I'm with Gina at Gina's house. I'm spending the night at Gina's house. And they go to find my iPhone and they find my ass at the Michigan Inn. I was swimming. Oh, I don't know how to swim. I was doing water aerobics. Yep, that's what I was doing. So I'm thankful we didn't have that back then. But now that's a wonderful, that's a really, really um that's a really nice option. So again, I just really wanted to um complain. I wanted to complain about the new technology. I wanted to say that, things don't last like they used to. They say that our appliances are better and our TVs are better, and they're not. They're not. Think about it. None of our TVs or appliances last like they used to. I swear my father probably has a TV that's probably 20 years old. Now, that's not the one he's looking at, but if he needed to, he could. I had a microwave that I had gotten from my sister, and I gave it to a friend of mine. And I actually need to ask her if she still has that microwave. That microwave was well over 20 something years old. But nowadays microwaves don't last like that. It's I mean, marriages don't last. Relationships don't last. Everything is like everything has an expiration date of 5 to 10 years. I mean, stop me when I'm lying. Um, and shopping online. I am a shopper online. However, when I'm buying clothes, I do like to go to brick and mortar. I want to try it on. I don't want to always order from the store because the sizes are always kind of different. In some stores, how they get you is if you send it back, they deduct $10. Well, why are you deducting $10? The shit didn't fit. It didn't fit. So, but you're not giving me full refund. So if I don't want to lose the $10, then I keep the item. But then I'm never going to wear the item because either it's too big or it's too small. So I would like to just go in to the store and buy certain things. And like I said, again, I'm guilty of being a Amazon shopper because it does seem like it has everything, but there are some things that it doesn't have. Because I've typed in the Amazon thing and I've put in second husband and they don't have any unless they're out of stock. I mean, I even put in boyfriend the other day just for shits and giggles, and they had a sheet of things that came up, like a book that said boyfriend, something else that said boyfriend gifts, and then it had a cum rag. And instead of them spelling it cum, they spelled it C heart M rag. Um, I think I'm gonna put that in my cart, you know, for just in case I get a boyfriend or a husband. Because I thought that was really cute. So, anywho, that is my rant um, for today. I do think that these new Fandango cars and all the special gadgets and things that they can do, I think that's great, but they don't always work like they should. That's why my car is in the shop. See, I talked about the car that I'm driving, but I didn't say it's because my car is in the shop. My car is not even, I got it in June of last year, and lately my trunk just keeps popping open. Why is my trunk popping open? It's popping open in the garage. So what if I go out and I buy something? Or it doesn't matter, but what if I'm out and about and I come back and my trunk popped open? Why is my trunk popping open? Then it's something, my brakes were making a noise. I don't have that many miles on my car because remember I just said it's new. And um, I called and Lincoln said, "Oh yeah, we've been hearing that there's something going on with the brakes. So we're probably gonna have to replace your brake pads and your rotors." So you didn't think that was important enough to do a recall on the Nautilus? You just wanted to kind of wait for people to call and say that there was an issue with the brakes? And then sometimes when I'm coming out the driveway, the brake light is on, so I have to gun it to go past. Y'all, that you didn't want to call me and tell me that. So, um, yeah. Again, I love some of the things that technology can do. Um, but there's nothing like looking up your location on MapQuest and printing it off and looking at it while you drive to your destination, or getting a triptych from AAA and reading a map that kids nowadays don't know how to do. Because honestly, the navigation system in my car was going fuzzy too. I have a picture. It's horrible. It was going fuzzy. So I couldn't see where I'm going. And so, honestly, if something happens in your car and the electronic part goes out, There should be another way for you to know where you're going. Now, in my case with today, with driving on the sidewalk, I wasn't familiar with that area. I, it's not an excuse, it's the truth. So, anywho, if any of you guys have driven on sidewalks or had your navigation steer you the wrong way, you will understand my frustration that I had today. So I hope you guys, you know what I'm going to say? What am I going to say? I hope you had the day that you deserve. And until next time, cheerio.